Negro League, or just honoring the Negro League players, Willie Mays in particular, Rickwood Field, the oldest stadium in the nation, and during the pregame ceremonies, they brought Reggie Jackson on, Mr. October, great player, Hall of Famer.
Yes.
And he had several things to say. And we're going to listen to some of it right now when he came on the platform with the Fox Sports guys.
Alex, when people ask me a question like that, it's like coming back here is not easy. The racism that I played here, when I played here, the difficulty of going through different places where we traveled. Fortunately, I had a manager and I had players on the team that helped me get through it. But I wouldn't wish it on anybody. People said to me today, I spoke, and they said, you think you're a better person? You think you won when you played here in Concord? I said, I would never want to do it again. I walked into restaurants and they would point at me and said, can't eat here. I would go to a hotel and they say, then can't stay here. We went to Charlie Finley's country club for a welcome home dinner, and they pointed me out with the N-word. He can't come in here. Finley marched the whole team out. Finally, they let me in there. He said, we're going to go to the diner and eat hamburgers. We'll go where we're wanted.
That's good right there. That's good right there. We're going to listen to some more.
Wow.
Later. That's. I mean, and I'm glad you mentioned that because that's what really happened.
Yes.
Again, I say this on the show often. People try to erase things that happened in the past. But when you hear it, you need to hear those things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's really unfortunate. Charlie Finley, who's the owner, was from Birmingham, and when he brought the minor league team there to be a part of it, those things happened. And I heard it live when he did it. I was like, wow. That was just unbelievable, and that was my hometown, absolutely, and that's what was going on right there in Birmingham, and of course it's a lot different now, but that's reality. And I want to make sure that I'm glad he mentioned that because it wasn't all roses like home runs and stolen bases. Off the field.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you got to do.
I mean,
you got to go through.
Just think about
you can't just go play.
Think of it. So you can't even sit down in there.
And the names he was called.
And the names
you could hear in his voice
yeah.
that it was hard for him to think about that, but he can't unsee or unhear all the things that happened to him.
Yeah,
yeah. Just reflecting on. I'm from Mississippi. Mm-hmm. I'm from South Mississippi. Of course, I've heard any and every type story imaginable you could imagine, but I just think it speaks volumes when we have people in today's world that would like to say they never happened. This, don't worry about it. That's what used to, that's the past. It never happened. Listen, as long as we still have people that are living today, that can get on a stage, on a platform, and talk to us and say, "This is what happened to me." We are not too far removed to still have a conversation.
Right.
We're not too far removed to still say, hey, how did this happen? Why did this happen? Let's make sure we still don't let this happen again. Right? We don't get to where it's okay to be yelling names and doing things and calling people stuff. And a lot of people say, it was name calling. I mean, people were just ignorant back then. I said, but there's one thing.
They still ignorant today.
I said, but there's one thing that you're missing in every time you hear elderly people say what they're saying, like what Reggie saying and other people saying, there's also an undertone of physical violence attached to things that they're telling you.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not that somebody was just calling you a bad name. Hey, fat kid, get out of the restaurant. That's one thing. But if a person said that to you and you thought that could be backed up by somebody inflicting physical harm on you, it has a different meaning. Mm-hmm. It rings differently. It's a different tone. And that's the thing that people keep missing. There was physical, terroristic type violence attached to those type things. So that's why he still feels, that's why it still resonates with him so much. Not because he was called the name, is because he was called a name which also had certain type things attached to it.
I mean, the name itself was enough.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's abuse.
That's abuse right
That's
there.
abuse enough.
Yeah, that's abuse.
And I'm pretty sure when they asked Reggie Jackson to reflect on his time here, they didn't expect to get that. I think they got a lot more.
That's the reflection of his time.
He even talked about the 4 girls, 16th Street Baptist Church who got bombed, and he reminded everybody that they had a show later on, just raising these guys, lifting the Klan who was involved in making that happen. The guy kind of really praising them for doing what they did. This happened in this country. It happened in the state of Alabama and in Birmingham. So yeah, a lot of things. I mean, we're not gonna forget, but they want us to forget, and we're not going to. And I'm glad Reggie Jackson reminded of us of what was going on during that time frame there.
Yeah, and the conversations need to be had because we could be close to those things happening again.
Well,
back
a lot
to
of
the
people,
Januaries of the world.
There's a lot of people want us to go back to those days.
Exactly. So we have to keep having the conversation.
Yeah.
And I know we talk about all kind of stuff on the show, but what's the value of what's so significant of let's forget this? We don't forget Pearl Harbor.
No.
We don't forget. It's a lot of things in this country that are very, very, very difficult to relive each and every year. But we don't forget. We don't want to forget that.
The accountability that comes with it to change.
I mean, they even got the mottos, let's not forget or whatever, behind those things you just talked about.
But
we got to forget about when people were oppressed and people were discriminated against. Let's forget about that because it happened. We don't want to talk about it because we don't want to offend people today.
Don't want to take accountability.
They want to take accountability.
We will never forget. But it's like you must forget this. Mm-hmm. This is the one thing that we must forget.
I mean, 400 years they're trying to forget.
You can't. You can't undo it. You just can't. You can't. Why would you try to undo it?
That's why my girl from Carolina is at Howard right now. She wrote a book about it, and then people got upset about it.
They said you should forget about this.
You should forget about all this. D.L. Reese, Kmac, Pam, Smith, the Firm. Anytime. We got much more, man. Hey, this time we get down.